My name is Jen Ligget, and I am currently the supervisor in Brick and Brack at the San Francisco ARC. Several years back, I lost both of my parents tragically. They died within a year of each other. I went through a bitter divorce. I lost my house. I began using drugs and alcohol to cover up the pain. It just sent me into a downward spiral that I couldn't recover from. I ended up being in and out of jail. I got lost in the justice system, and a judge ordered me to come to San Francisco. Before coming to the ARC, I didn't know God in my life. I had not been raised to believe in God. I'd been left to have freedom of choice in that area, but my dad was a physicist, so it wasn't something that we normally discussed. When my mom died, my dad went searching for God, and he found him. And that opened the door just enough for me to consider the possibility. Up until the point when I lost my parents, I had been a diligent worker. I had been a productive member of society. I had done all of those things, had a college education. When I delved into that despair and the grief that I used all those drugs to cover up, I lost all those tools. I lost even how to go outside and be a member of society, basically. When I got here, I learned how to work again. I learned how to talk about my feelings. I learned how to get up early every morning, make my bed. I was a breakfast cook. I learned how to be serving to others, to get along with others. It had been so long since I had had true, deep relationships with people that it was just a whole new world for me. This is where I found God. This is where I found a new life and a new way to live. Once I got a job here and I began participating in chapel services. I began participating in other activities. I decided that God had called me to be an adherent. So I took the classes and became an adherent. Well, about 4 or 5 months later, I felt a strong pull in my heart that God was saying, it's time to take the next step. This is something that you need to be doing for the rest of your life. This is not a 6-month thing, it's not a year thing, it's not even a 2-year thing. This is a lifelong from this life into the next thing. So on November 27th of 2013, I became a soldier. For me, God places calling in my heart. I feel myself drawn to certain people, to certain situations, and down certain paths. When I'm on the path of God's will for me, it's like I have blinders on. I can't see any other road but the one that He has laid out for me. And in my mind, I see Him at the end of the road beckoning, and He's always saying, keep coming, child. Don't give up. I have something better for you. God has placed just this hunger in my heart for more of Him, more of serving His people, more of reading His Word, just getting to know Him more and more. And I've realized that there is no other life that I want to lead than serving the Lord on a full-time basis. There is only one path that I feel that God has placed in my heart that I can accomplish this, and that's through officership. I feel like developing a relationship with God is the most important part in my recovery process. As soon as I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior, my world opened up. I learned that I didn't have to face what I was dealing with drugs and alcohol. I didn't have to self-medicate. I didn't have to cover up the wounds with Band-Aids. I could open them up, let God dig His mighty fingers into my wounds, and rip out all of that ugliness and pain and despair that I was carrying around. And in doing so, my heart was freed up that He could sow the seeds of righteousness. It's a daily process, it's a lifelong process. And I just know how broken I was when I got here. And now I can walk through life with my head held high. I can look people in the eye again. I feel love in my heart and compassion and gentleness and kindness. And if He can do it for me, He can do it for you. He can do it for anybody. And it doesn't matter where you've come from or what you've done or what you think that you know about yourself. God knows you. He knows your heart, and He knows the plans that He has for you.